Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today is the lecture number 5 of English Comprehension and Communication, BBA Semester 2. Today the topic we discuss is the reading techniques. There are a lot of the reading techniques, but also only 3 are included in our course outline. Number 1, skimming. Number 2, SQ 3R, and number 4, SPRE. So first of all, we discuss the skimming. Skimming is a technique of reading something quickly so as to note only important points. Skimming is a reading technique in which rapidly, in order to get a general overview of the text. In other words, we can define skimming. Skimming is a process of quickly viewing a section of text to get a general impression of the author's main arguments, themes, or ideas. So those skimming are of 3 kinds. Number 1, pre-review, number 2, overview, and number 3, review. The review this is the method in which you first reading the heading of the text and sentences of the later paragraph and the section. In the very beginning of this technique, you have a general view of the given paragraph. So by the reading of this paragraph in a form of the preview, you can also get a necessary required information by which you can also understand something about the paragraph or the text which is also given to you. And now the second one is the overview. First, you preview the one text, and the second subform of the skimming, in which overview is a technique in which you read any paragraph and the section of the paragraph. In addition, structure, contents of the material of a paragraph through transition and attentively. So in the second technique, sub-technique of the skimming, you learn much more as compared to preview in a review form. So now the third one is the review. Review, as the obvious by its name, you must review all the contents which are generally you overview in the preview and overview. So we can say that review is a technique in which you have a overview of the 2 earlier techniques in which you have gotten a simple information and apparent information. So by the review of both of these two, you can also learn more information about the text paragraph and given text. And now generally we can say that skimming is a technique of the reading in which you have a general overview of a text of a paragraph of the given text. So it is an apparent study of a paragraph. And now the second technique is the SQ3R. SQ3R. SQ3R is a reading technique of a comprehension method for its 5 steps. S, Q and R 3 times. S mean survey, Q mean questions, R for read, secondary R recite, and third one is the review. So now in the first survey, so this method is also introduced by an American educationist, Francis P. Robinson. It helps us to improve our readings and also become the source of enhancement of our knowledge by reading any text, any paragraph. So now number 1 पे survey. Read the introduction and look over the major section headings. Have a glance at figures, skim questions, keywords and summarize of the chapter. Create a context for remembering information and create a sense about important points and plan of study. So in a survey you have a very wider outlook of the paragraph in which you can also keep remember of the important point of any paragraph after the for the later remembering information. Whenever you want to study, you can also reconstruct a simple information about the paragraph in your mind. So now the second one is the Q questioning. Question is a very important technique to learn about anything, because first of all you must create some question in your mind and then try to seek the answer of the questions which are your mind creative questions. Create questions and answer the question by yourself for each section in the chapter and ask 4 basic questions about the paragraph. What is the main point? Definitely when you ask yourself what is the main point of this question, in this way you have an extra effort to find out the answer of the first question. In this way you can also gain much knowledge. And now the second question, what is the evidence to support the main point? Why you support this question? Why you want to ask the answer of this question? What is the importance of this question? And why is necessary to know about the answer of this question? Number 3, what are the example or applications? What kind of the example you can also seek and give in the support of your answer for the personal satisfaction which arises in your mind in the form of the questions. And now the number 4, how they are related points in whole narration of the chapter. When you seek all the relevant points and relevant question of the paragraph, so in this way you try to seek the answer of the given questions and also Indirectly you can enhance your knowledge and get the satisfactory answer of the given paragraph. And now the 3R. 3R, it means the word R is used thrice, 3 times. Number 1, read. Skim or read the section actively and search the answer of your questions. Take notes in the margin to create your own organization. So in this way you can also find the answer of the question. Definitely the first step of any kind of the gaining the knowledge in a written form is the reading. Now reading is become the source of the enhancement of your knowledge. So in a reading technique, scanning and skimming are 2 important one. So number 2 पे recite. Look up from the book and verbalize the answer of your question. Talk out loudly and listen to the answer. Recite the remember. Sometimes you have oftenly seen that some students learning the question and they talking out loudly just only by keeping their eyes shut. Sometimes they loudly recite the answers while they are learning any kind of the answer of the question by heart. So this is the very important technique through which they can also learn well. It is not possible you may learn easily answer of any question in a single time or in twice, but you must keep on recitation of the answer by reciting of the answer to keep in your mind for a long time. Definitely it also depend on your memory status, because there are 2 kinds of the memory. Someone has a short memory or someone has a long term memory. Definitely a person who has a shorter memory, he is able to keep any answer of the question and any thinking in his mind for a short time. But those person who have a long term memory, so they are able to keep all the informative points or the information in their mind for a long time. So now the third, review already has been discussed in a sub form of the skimming. So this is the method in which you review all the previous knowledge you have in your you have a written form in front of you. So in this way, by the review of the previous reading and the writing, you can also rectify the demerits and shortcomings which you can also identify in the second time, but remain unsolved in the first time. So now the third technique is the SPRE. It is known as a SPRE. SPRE just is the abbreviation as the 3SK was the abbreviation of the 5 word. So SPRE is also a abbreviation of the word S for situation, P for problem, R for response, and E for evaluation. So now the situation, it is the section you give some background and analyze the whole narration with critical angle. Definitely when you have a view of any kind of the writing by a critical viewpoint, so you will be in this position to learn more information about this paragraph according to the situation. You can also find the background perspective of this paragraph, in which perspective this paragraph is given, and what kind of the message this paragraph conveys to the audience. And now second one is the P for the problem. While reading, you must find out the problem. What are the barriers? What is the hurdle which can also become a stop in this way? So after reading and analyze the situation, find out the barriers, problems which can be occurred or may place at the situation. So when you are able to find out the problem, so definitely you will be in this position to find out the solution of the relevant problem. So second one is the problem. First you identify and then you try to sort out all these problems. And number 3 are response. So in this section it depends on the reader to reply and how he responds according to the requirement of the situation. Definitely he knows well what kind of the response is required. Even the immediate response is required, or some delay can also be done in this way, because it is required immediate response or a very slow response. So after having a comprehensive view of the text, either this problem needs immediate reaction or a slow reaction to handle the situation. So in other words, it is the strategy to sort out the problems and what kind of the method is required to handle over the situation. So just like a homeopathic treatment method, the cure, the like, means act as the requirements or requires. Just in the same way, the symptoms shows you must suggest the treatment of the disease according to the requirement of the signs or symptoms. And now the last is that evaluation. Evaluation means to make a judgment about a piece of writing, to know its nature, requirements, and what needed to give it worthwhile place. In other words, check out a plan to give its due place. In reading techniques, it must require to set up its present status and find out the relevant situation. So when you evaluate any sentence, any paragraph, any text, so then you will be able to understand the whole gist or the theme of the paragraph. So today, now the 3 techniques of the reading are discussed: skimming, SQ, 3R, and SPRE. So these are the techniques which can be helpful for you to make easy the process of the reading and also gaining the knowledge after having or reading any text or a paragraph. So these are the techniques which are very helpful for the enhancement of the knowledge. Thank you so much.